doing too much.
I'm like, shut up, ho.
Ho, you ain't doing enough.
Oh, you fucking mad.
That's too fucking bad.
Since you fucking asked.
I like doing too much.
Hi everyone, it's Adyel here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a Girl Talk Get Ready with me, and if you are new to my channel and you don't know what this is, it is a series on my channel where I get ready while I give you guys advice on certain topics, and today's topic is something that I'm so passionate about, and that is self-love and how to love yourself. And honestly, obviously I'm filming this intro after I already just finished filming, and it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Girl Talk Get Ready with me that I've ever done on my channel. I feel like this is just so important and I'm so excited to talk to you guys about this today, and I really hope that it helps in some way. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up to let me know how you like it, and also be sure to leave me a comment down below. I always love reading and responding to all of your comments, but especially on this video, let's have a deep chat about self-love, and be sure to share this video with someone who may really need it. Also, if you are not subscribed to my channel already, please be sure to do so. I post every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to turn on my post notifications so you don't miss out on any of my videos. It is such a fun time around here and I would absolutely love it if you stuck around. But yeah, without further ado, this video is going to be a longer one. We are going to get into every aspect of loving yourself. So if you want to know how to have self-love, then please keep on watching. Okay guys, so I am so excited to be talking about this topic today. Honestly, this is one of my favorite topics ever. I feel like this is one of the most important things to really master in life, and I'm so passionate about this topic, which is self-love. I feel like, let me start getting ready. I feel like in any of my advice videos, I always talk about self-love, and you know, I'm always like, you gotta love yourself. But then when I was brainstorming advice videos, I was like, you know what? I need to do one on self-love because I always preach it, but I've never really given like a step-by-step. And like I said, it's so important. So last night I jotted down a bunch of notes. You guys know I like to speak from the heart, so I kind of just put bullets because I want to make sure that I address every single one of these. So first of all, it's like, okay, what is self-love? I feel like a lot of people unfortunately get self-love confused. A lot of times even people are afraid to love themselves because they're afraid of being called cocky or conceited, and let me just tell you, there are fine lines, okay? Confidence is way different than being cocky or conceited or any of those things, and at the end of the day, we're gonna talk a lot about in this video, when you love yourself or when you're confident, people are gonna talk even more than if you didn't, because people want to have the confidence that you have. And I'm gonna get into that deeper in a little bit, but where I'm going with this is, if you love yourself, or if you want to love yourself and start loving yourself, the first thing you have to do is take those things out of your head, because you need to love yourself unapologetically. Like, who cares what anyone is gonna say about how you feel about yourself? Rule number one to love yourself is to not tolerate or care what other people say, which I could do another video like this in depth on how not to care what people think. But anyways, self-love is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight, especially if you've had a past of battling with inner insecurities or whatever the case may be. But that's why I'm here today, to give you guys this advice, because honestly, the self-love journey is the most beautiful thing in the world, in my opinion, and it's something that I wish for everybody in their lifetime to achieve, because when you love yourself, it doesn't matter what happens in life, who hurts you, like literally all of those things will not matter to you. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm gonna give a little bit of tough love right now, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but I truly feel like sometimes the harsh truth is necessary. If you don't make these changes now to love yourself, and if you don't put the work in, I'm telling you right now, you're not gonna live your happiest life. I know that sounds very harsh, but think about it. If you don't love yourself in this lifetime, we are all we have. Look at yourself in the mirror, look at you. You are all you're gonna have in this lifetime. Of course we have our family, of course we have our friends, but every day we have to wake up and face ourselves. We have to look in the mirror and see that person. Everything we think and do is ourselves. So if you don't love that person, if you don't love yourself, you're not gonna be truly happy in life. And I've noticed, and honestly when I see this, I think it's the most unfortunate thing that can happen in this lifetime. But when someone doesn't love themselves, typically you always see them in negative, toxic situations, whether it's with people, with work, whatever the case may be. Because when you don't love yourself, you don't know your worth, you don't know your value, and you don't know how to remove yourself from situations, and it becomes this pattern. And that's why I really want to encourage you guys to really listen to everything that I'm saying in this video, because I needed to hear this at one point. And a lot of these things are things that my mom raised me telling me, because self-love is a practice. It doesn't come automatically. I mean, maybe for some people it does. It's just the most peaceful feeling in the world when you know at the end of the day you love yourself and you got you. So anyway, we got that out of the way, but now it's like, okay, Adyel, how? So like I said, I wrote down a bunch of bullet points and I want to touch all of them. So I'm sorry if they're kind of scrambled. These literally were just like my scrambled thoughts that I put into notes. And each topic that I go through is going to help you love yourself in some way, shape, or form. First and foremost, and this is something I needed to learn in order to start my self-love process. I always thought that I loved myself. I always thought of myself as like a confident person. You know, I just told you guys that my mom raised me always telling me to love myself and, you know, have high self-esteem. And I always thought I did, and deep down a part of me did. However, it took me being in a toxic ass spot in my life. I would say like majority of my teenage years, honestly. When you're a teenager, it's completely normal to battle with self-love and all this kind of stuff, because there's so much confusion in your life and you really don't know, honestly. Also, hormones get in the way, but that's another story. What made me face that I needed to make a change was, of course, I was in a toxic situation in high school. I did not like the environment that I was in, the life that I had. I was made fun of. I heard negative opinions about me almost every single day. And of course, I heard positive things too, but the negative always outweighed the positive for me. And then I was in a toxic relationship. But eventually, as I was healing, I was like, did I really love myself if I allowed myself to feel so insignificant because of other people around me? Did I really love myself if I allowed myself to keep being in those situations and keep being miserable? And so with that being said, my first tip in starting the process to love yourself is to remove yourself from any type of negative situation. If you're in a situation where you're constantly feeling down, sad, questioning yourself, having to dim yourself, whatever the case may be that's negative, remove yourself from it. It should be no question, and eventually with practice and with time, you're gonna get to a point where you see something that you're like, this isn't good for my health, bye. And trust me, I know more than anybody how it feels, because in your head you lie to yourself so much that you're like, but I love this person and this person loves me and this and that, and you make all these excuses. But no, you need to love yourself and you need to do yourself the favor and get up and go, and don't look back. That's the thing. You need to cut toxic patterns, toxic ties, whatever the case may be, and you need to heal yourself. Listen, we all have a past, we all have stories, we all have experiences that have brought us to who we are today, whether it's negative, whether it's positive. And the first thing you have to do is really heal. You have to make sure you tell yourself. And I honestly believe another thing that helped me in my self-love process was talking to myself and giving myself pep talks. As weird as that sounds, sometimes you need to sit down with yourself and literally talk to yourself. I found that it's helped because it's like you can have someone else sit down and tell you these things, but if you are telling yourself these things, for some reason it just helps a little bit more. And also we're going to talk about manifestation a little bit later too, but I've noticed that talking to yourself also helps you manifest. So anyway, you need to repeat to yourself over and over again that you are not defined by situations that you've been in. You are not defined by people's negative or positive perceptions of you. For example, if you have someone in your life that's constantly telling you how ugly and disgusting you are, just because they say that doesn't mean you're ugly and disgusting. You know what I mean? See, I'm literally so passionate about this that I'm like, like not even doing my makeup. And also, when I say positive, I mean, because of course you should embrace every positive thing that somebody tells you, but you cannot rely your happiness on somebody else. So if you're in a relationship or whatever the case is, let's say you're relying on somebody else for your happiness and your self-esteem, you need to cut that out, because if that person leaves your life, what now? Are you suddenly worthless because you only thought you were worth it because you were with that person and because they told you all these things? Of course, it's so nice to feel loved by others and to have that reassurance and that validation, but that cannot define how you think of yourself. You need to keep that separate. And then in your heart, you need to know that you love yourself and that you feel that way about you. You need to really embrace every part of you, because like I said, you're gonna be with yourself the rest of your life. So any past struggle or life that you once lived or any insecurities that you have, you need to find a way to embrace all of those and heal from all of those. You need to truly find the inner beauty and the positives in every single situation that has happened in your life, even if it's torn you apart. Because if you don't take the time to heal, and trust me, healing is not pretty. It's not rainbows and sunshine. It's a lot of hurt, and most of the time we bury that. But think about it, when you bury that pain and you constantly like have that carrying with you, it keeps coming back. Even if you try and hide it, when situations keep happening, that pain will linger and it will hinder you. Like, I'm just being honest, that's what happens. So we truly need to become self-aware and just embrace every part of our self-love process and journey. You need to remember, change is not a bad thing. As much as change seems like a bad thing, and as much as of course it can be, depends on the situation, when it comes to change for growth or for healing purposes, change is a good thing. It's a scary thing, but trust me, you're gonna look back one day and be like, I am so glad that I changed that situation that I was in, my life, or the patterns that I was following, etc. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I did do a video on how to be confident, so that also ties in with loving yourself. But that video I go more in depth on how to accept your physical features, even some of your personality traits, and embrace them. So confidence and self-love do go hand in hand, but if you want in-depth advice on confidence, go watch that. So the next thing that I want to talk about is positive affirmations. I also did a Girl Talk Get Ready With Me on how to be positive. I just want you guys to know that I have so many other videos out there, so that if you're watching this and I'm saying like, oh, do this, and you're like, well, how do I do that? There's certain videos that I have up on my channel to help you guys with other aspects. But speaking positive to yourself, as corny as it is, and as corny as like we always hear, like I said, talk to yourself, tell yourself, I'm successful, I will be successful, I'm beautiful. This will really help you to love yourself. I've said this in my confidence video, and you've probably heard it in many other confidence videos in general, but faking it till you make it is really truly a thing. So positive affirmations help your mind, and remember, it's all mind over matter. So for example, and this is what my mom told me growing up, so whenever I would like, I don't know, eat something disgusting and then have like a stomach ache, you know how your mind can trick your body into like having symptoms? Sorry, that was kind of like a dumb analogy, but I hope you get where I'm going with that. But she would always tell me, like, is your mind tricking yourself? Like, mind over matter. Like, if you tell yourself, I'm not gonna throw up, most likely you're not gonna throw up. But if you tell yourself, I am gonna throw up, you probably will throw up. So it's like a little saying, but it goes really well with self-love, because if you tell yourself, I love myself, I'm beautiful, eventually, faking it till you make it, you're gonna feel that way about yourself, even if you don't. But if you tell yourself, I'm ugly, I'm stupid, I'm this, I'm that, you're gonna feel that way about yourself. So would you rather fake it till you make it, or would you rather keep telling yourself those things? And when you notice, I mean, we all get insecure at times, and we all have times where we talk down to ourselves, but stop that. Stop making jokes about yourself, talking down to yourself. Just stop all the negativity, because especially when you're in the process of trying to love yourself, it's not healthy, it's not good. And also with self-love, you can embrace your spirituality if that's something you're interested in, prayer, anything like that, which I don't want to get too much into because I feel like that's all personal preference, but I know that really helps a lot of people and it's helped me myself. Also, manifestation. So even when things aren't going right, so even when you feel like you're at a place in life where you're like, what am I doing? What's happening? If you're unhappy with a relationship, a point in your career, school, your family, whatever's happening, it is so easy for us to be like, I'm a failure. This isn't working. I'm not gonna be successful. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. It is so easy for us to get into that stage, and I do it myself. I never want you guys to think that when I'm doing these videos that I'm like, oh my god, I'm perfect, because I'm not. A lot of these things I have to tell myself very often, and this is one of them. When things aren't going your way or how you plan, find ways to uplift yourself, whether it's prayer, whether it's believing in everything happens for a reason and believing that you're gonna go in the right path and that you're gonna be led there eventually. Whatever the case may be, whether it's telling yourself, listen, I don't know what's happening right now, but I will be successful. I will have this happen to me. I will do this. I will do that. Whether you say it out loud or whether you write it down, whatever the case may be, find ways to uplift yourself, because this is how you're going to really develop good self-love habits. And I don't know if any of you have done research on manifestation. If you haven't, you definitely should. But another thing that you can do is, instead of talking like I will be, say I am. So let's say you want to be a billionaire, okay? A way to manifest that is to say I am a billionaire, and just putting it into the universe. I could do a whole separate video on this, but I just do want to preach this in this video because manifestation really works for a lot of people, including myself. There's been like so many times where I'll literally say out loud, I want this to happen. Like, it would be such a dream if this would happen, and it does. Like, it's the craziest thing ever. But if you're not into that, I'm just bringing this up because even the simple thought of the process of manifestation helps your mind and helps you love yourself and helps you grow and helps you heal. Again, with the positive affirmations and uplifting yourself. Another thing I wrote down is stop being negative on others, because that can be a reflection of you. And this also goes with stopping caring what other people think. If, I don't know, I'm trying to pick a name, but I don't want to like sound mean if this is someone's name. We're just gonna go with Anna. I don't know an Anna. If your name's Anna, I don't mean to offend you. But let's say Anna's over there and she's being negative. She's talking about so-and-so and this person and that person and blah, 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 blah. And she's going on and on and on. And let's say she's talking about Brittany, and Brittany overhears what Anna says, and now Brittany's sad because, oh my god, Anna said that about me and that really hurt my feelings. Nope. Scratch that. First of all, let's look at Anna, because if Anna's talking all this shit, why? What does she gain from that? When someone is talking so negatively about others or just in general, and let me know if you guys want different advice videos, because I'm thinking of doing an advice series where I answer your questions specifically, but then also doing a series where I do like 20 signs that you are blank or stuff like that, like other advice videos, because I really do have a passion for doing them. I always have, and I feel like my Girl Talk Get Ready With Me's are a way for me to sit down and just ramble and spew everything on my mind, but I don't have like step-by-step tips, so I don't know if that would be something you're interested in. But anyway, that is a sign that Anna's insecure and she doesn't love herself, because when you love yourself, are you talking about what other people are doing? All tea, all shade. You usually don't see confident people hating. So if you are trying to love yourself, and maybe you have habits that Anna has, and that is fine, because you need to realize it. So if you are talking negatively about others, stop, because that is a reflection of you. And you know, there's like people that make hate accounts and hate pages. That is screaming that they're miserable. Like, who does that? Someone that's not happy with themselves because they want to bring other people down. Hurt people hurt people. I also wrote down do what you love. Again, unapologetically. Do things in life that are gonna make you happy. I don't care what anyone else says. If you want to do something, do it. For example, a YouTube channel. I always get asked, like, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I'm scared what people are gonna think. Nope, do what you want. In this lifetime, I'm so sorry, but we live in a world where people are gonna talk, they're gonna tear you down, they're gonna talk behind your back, people are gonna say the most cruel, evil things, but that's the beauty about self-love, because when you love yourself, you don't care. Or at least it's hard because there are some people that love themselves, but they just care so much about like what people say, and that's like a whole different practice. So I can do a whole separate video on that. But speaking of caring about what other people say, when you notice that you're caring too much about a comment that someone says, for the sake of this video, I'm gonna say someone says, ugh, she's conceited, because through the self-love process, trust me, baby girl, you're gonna hear this a lot, or baby boy, it don't matter. I would be so rich if I had $1 for every time someone called me conceited, cocky, full of myself. And in high school, this bothered me so much because I was like, why does so-and-so bitch keep saying that I'm conceited and she doesn't even know me? Like, it bothered me. It boiled my blood because deep down, I knew I was not, and I was such a nice person, and that person doesn't even take the time to get to know me, and they're saying this. Like, it really bothered me. But now, someone calls me conceited and I'm like, okay, and what? Like, what? Go cry about it. Like, that's how you have to get. When you notice you care too much, you need to back away and ask yourself, why? Why do I care about what Anna, whatever, whoever wants to say? Why do I care? Because most of the time, there's a reason why. So, for example, eventually I got to the point where I had to be like, okay, Adyel, you're called this every day. Why do you care that people are calling you conceited? And the inner deep-rooted issue was that I cared because I didn't understand why people could say things about me when they didn't know me, and it really hurt me because I wanted to please other people. So there was my issue. I wanted everyone to like me, but baby girl, I had to say to myself, not everyone is going to like you. You are not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine. Not everyone is your cup of tea. And if someone wants to talk bad about you without even taking the time to know you, you don't even want to know them. That shouldn't even be a person that you think about, that you care about, that you want to hear what they say about you, because clearly they have an issue with themselves. And once you practice doing this, whatever words are hurting you that other people are saying, when you get to the deep-rooted issue, wow, the fact that I'm like not even worrying about my concealer creasing right now, I'm sorry. Once you get to that issue, I promise you will be so much happier, like so much happier. And this takes practice, and again, I feel like I'm gonna have to do another video on how not to care about what people think, but you need to keep reassuring yourself that they're the ones with the problem. Who cares, okay? If you're wasting your time, and I say wasting because you're literally wasting your time if you're caring about what some random bitch says, or even if it's someone that you know, maybe what they're saying is true and that's why it hurts you. Maybe that's like another separate problem that you have to address and you have to work on, because the self-love process involves ugly things and coming to terms and realizations. When it comes to loving yourself, stop being afraid to seem cocky or to seem extra or to seem conceited or confident. Like, for some reason, people have such negative connotation or issue with people that are confident, and it's because who doesn't want to be confident? Okay, like, let's be real. If someone has such an issue that you're so confident, it's like they want to be confident and they hate you so much because you love yourself and they wish that they love themselves. And instead of loving themselves, they're sitting and talking about you. You can't stop your self-love process because, oh, bitch number one over here is gonna say that I'm doing too much. And like Cash Doll said, she like, Cash, bitch, you doing too much. I'm like, shut up, ho. Ho, you ain't doing enough. Oh, you f***ing mad. That's too f***ing bad. Since you f***ing ass, I like doing too much. Thank you very much. Thank you. But dead ass. Like, it's laughable. I promise you, when you get to this point where you're laughing about people like that, it feels so good. Oh my god, I just thought I deleted my notes for a second. I was about to have a heart attack. So the next thing I wrote is to stand up for yourself, but also know when an explanation is not needed. So, you know, in certain situations, yes, like, it's necessary to stand up for yourself. If someone's coming at you, sometimes the right thing to do is stand up for yourself and not not tolerate any bullshit from anyone. But another thing that I truly didn't grasp before, and I'm gonna stop doing my makeup for this one because this is another really important one. Not everything or everyone is owed an explanation. Okay, so this concept is a tricky one to understand, and it was a tricky one for me to grasp. Hear me out, okay? I'm trying to think of like the perfect way to say this. Okay, we're gonna do it this way. When you love yourself, it comes to a point where if someone's trying to argue with you or whatever the case may be, you get to a point where you're like, you know what? I know my worth. I know in my heart my value, and I know my actions are pure, my intentions are pure, so I don't need to explain myself. When you don't love yourself and someone's like attacking you, or someone, I don't know what the case is, but you often feel a need to overly explain yourself and make sure that that person understands how you feel. And I'm gonna tell you right now, not everybody is going to feel the way you feel. So you might do something and your actions and your intentions are so pure, and then someone else over here thinks that you're being evil and malicious, and they don't let it go. No matter what you tell them, they're like, nope, you're evil, you're malicious. You gotta get to a point where like, okay, guess I'm evil and malicious then, bye. And they'll be shocked. But don't tolerate any of that bullshit, because if you know that you're not evil and malicious, you don't need to explain to bitch number 2 over here that you're not evil and malicious. Like, you don't. So get used to not having to defend yourself or explain yourself all the time. Like, of course, every situation is different, but I hope you get what I mean. If someone wants to believe something about you, you need to get to a point where you let them. Kind of going back to the point where the conceited thing, like I always felt like I had to prove myself, or I had to explain myself, or I had to be like, no, I'm not conceited. Like, I wanted everyone to know like I'm not conceited. And now I'm like, think I'm conceited. Like, you wish you was conceited, bitch. Like, that's where I'm going with this. No answer can be your answer. When you love yourself, it gets to the point where, you know, if there's a situation in your life and it's honestly doing no good to you and you're over it, right? When you love yourself, you get to a point where you're like, I don't even have the time to argue about this, to defend myself. Like, you know what? It is what it is. If you want to think that way, go ahead. So that's what I mean. Okay, so the next thing I wrote down, let me actually start doing my makeup again. I wrote, they say that if you're constantly in similar situations, it's because you don't know your worth and your value. I'm just gonna say sometimes God, and if you're not religious, like, please don't get offended, but sometimes you are constantly put in the same situation over and over again to see if you're gonna learn your lesson, and to see if you're gonna repeat history, and to see if you know your worth and your value, because trust me, you are going to be tested throughout life about knowing your worth and knowing your value. It just is what it is. In order to find self-love, you're also finding your worth, you're finding your value, you're finding your limits, you're finding what you can and can't tolerate, and your standards and your expectations of people. You need to find your worth, and you need to know that shit, and you need to stand on it with all 10 toes. If someone's doing something to you, again, that's what I mean. Someone cheats on you, someone whatever, get up, leave, bye. And you don't need to give them an explanation either. Like, if you get to the point where you fully love yourself, you're gonna look at that situation, of course it's gonna hurt, okay? But that person's gonna be like, oh my god, can we talk? Can we this? Like, I love you, I wanna work it out. You're gonna be like, you don't love me? I love myself, and bye. Like, you don't even owe that person an explanation. Please get to that point where you know your worth, you know what you will and will not tolerate, and if there's something that you don't tolerate, get up and leave. That's why, like, I really thought, oh, I always love myself. But no, if I kept staying in situations where I knew I was not being treated right and I was being gaslighted and treated unfairly, like, that situation, that's out. Like, that's really out. The next thing I wrote down is don't compete with anyone and don't compare yourself. So of course you can't compete where you can't compare, but there should be no competition with anyone but yourself, period. There are so many amazing people in this world doing amazing things, and you can look up to them, you can embrace that. You cannot look at it as a competition. You cannot say, oh my god, she's doing amazing, she's doing everything that I love and want to be doing. What am I doing wrong? Or, oh my god, I need to beat her. Or, oh my god, she's so much better than me and she has everything that I don't. Don't dim your light. Be confident. Like, you can uplift other people, you can support others. That doesn't mean that you have to compare yourself. You can let others shine. That doesn't dim your spotlight, you know what I mean? I hope it makes sense with that one, but I could do a video on like how not to compare yourself. That's what I mean. Like, I want to start doing advice videos where I'm like, oh, 5 tips to not compare yourself to other people, you know? So that they could be more concentrated, because I feel like these Girl Talk Get Ready With Me is I talk about one topic and I'm like going all over the place. So yeah, we're actually getting towards the end and me like rushing to finish up my makeup because I was not doing my makeup because I was so passionate talking about this. But yeah, watching my video on confidence, on positivity, really smile at yourself, be nice to others, go out and compliment others, just all these things, you know. You really just gotta be unapologetic. Like I said in the beginning, we are relating it right back. You are going to be with yourself the rest of your life. So you better start loving yourself, girl. It's gonna take time, it's gonna take work, but if you put the work and the time in now, I promise you're gonna thank yourself later. Because do you ever have an encounter with like an older woman and you're like, damn, she's so miserable? Do you want to be that woman or that man? Like, I really hope you don't, because those people are so miserable and they spend the rest of their lives talking and caring about what other people are doing. So please put the work in now so that you don't end up like those miserable ass people. Do what makes you happy and just, you know, be you, do you, and embrace you. Love you, okay? Growth, people, growth. Yeah, I might actually start doing those other advice videos because these Girl Talk Get Ready With Me's, I be looking crazy while I'm giving advice. But hey, I promise you gonna thank me. So yeah, I actually said everything that I wanted to say. If I think of anything, I'm gonna put it in the next few clips that you're gonna see, which is the outro. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish slaying the rest of this face. And just know that self-love is a process, and some days you're gonna have your days, okay? There's gonna be days where you doubt yourself. Like, it's human, it's normal. Just because you have a few days where you're doubting yourself doesn't mean that you suddenly don't love yourself anymore. Like, you just have to use the same practices that got you to where you are, and you gotta keep implementing them into your life. You just gotta keep it moving, keep it pushing, and keep talking to yourself. That's why I like talking to yourself has honestly been just so effective for me, because when I'm feeling a certain way, I just talk it out to myself, as silly as that sounds, and it really is therapeutic for me. So I thought I would share that tip in case it helps one of you. But yeah, I will see you guys when my face is fully beat. So I'm finally all ready. New girl, who dis? But yeah, as I was finishing getting ready, I was like, wow, this is my favorite Girl Talk Get Ready With Me that I've ever filmed on my channel. I think because I'm just so passionate about this topic, like literally I have goosebumps. That's so weird. Self-love really changed my life, and I hope that this video inspires you to change your perspective and just to work towards self-love and to progress. I honestly feel like that's what this lifetime is all about. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and please be sure to leave me any video requests that you have down below, whether it involves advice videos or not, and I cannot wait to read your comments and have conversations with you guys down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone.